I think 90% of people playing anime Vanguards are F2P in the sense that they don't spend rerolls. And it really sucks because a lot of the units are really good with Monarch. So today we're gonna talk about the top 5 units that are still insanely good even if they are traitless. So the topic of today's video is the top 5 free-to-play units in anime Vanguards, which basically just means that they are good even without traits. Now, in order to categorize them, number 1, they have to be good without traitless, but they also have to be good if you maybe do get a trait on them, and basically that's going to be the main criteria in how we are going to be basing these units. And before I start this video, I want to say that you guys might have a different opinion on what I have. So if you guys have a different opinion, you are free to make your own top 5 in the comment section with the explanations of why those units that you picked are really good. But this video is just about my list from my testing. The number 5 unit is going to be Ichigo, and the main reason why Ichigo is going to be pretty high right here is not because he's really a super meta unit, but in my opinion, his ability to basically be good in almost any event and being able to receive a buff in any event that he is going to be part of. Let me give you an example real quickly. As you can see right now, we are in the dungeons, and if I go right here, this dungeon is a solo leveling quote-unquote map, and only solo leveling units are going to get stage buffs here. So as you guys can see right here, all solo leveling units except for Ichigo because it is part of his passive. If we take a look at the other map right here in raids, where only certain units will get a buff, he also gets a buff. Right here, only certain units get a buff, he also gets a buff. This is one of the reasons why he is the top 5 F2P unit, because he is insanely good in these events, and that's pretty much why he is here at top 5. Not to mention, he has his nuke, he can manipulate stocks, and he's overall a pretty good and pretty decently cheap unit. If you do manage to get a Monarch on him, he actually also is pretty good, but even without Monarch, he is a top tier unit. Before I move to the next one, guys, a new tower defense game releasing soon called AnimeDefenders just hosted one of the biggest giveaways on our Discord, and all you need to do to be part of it is join our Discord, head on to giveaways, check the requirements, and be part of this insanely massive giveaway. Shout out to AnimeDefenders for sponsoring this giveaway, and let's move on with this video. The number 4 unit, I think we're at number 4 right now, is going to be Saber. Now, Saber is a unit that was added in update 2, and I do think that Saber might be a little bit outdated now. But one of the reasons why I think Saber is still a pretty decently free-to-play unit, because obviously if you get Ethereal on him, or sorry, her, my bad, her. If you get Ethereal on her, which I have, her nuke ability, which is Excalibur, I don't really know if this will count as a nuke ability, but her ability is a local cooldown, which means all 3 of her placement can use it, which means if you have Ethereal on her, like how I have on her, you will still be able to use all of her abilities. You'll still be able to use her ability in all 3 of your placements, right? Unlike, for example, in other units like Sid, where only one of his placements can use his nuke ability, which basically makes it so that if you don't have Monarch on him, it's not really as good. Apart from the nuke that Saber has, she is also extremely good as a early unit. Now, if you place her down for 1,600 yen, her first 5 upgrades will repulse enemies and do 100% damage when he hits an enemy for the first time, and then her other passives are also insanely good, just making her a top tier unit overall, especially if you are traitless or if you are a beginner just starting out in the game. For number 3, we have Rom and Ran. I don't really have Rom and Ran evolved yet, and so this is Rom and Ram's ability. Consecutive hits on an enemy builds up crit chance by 1% on that enemy specifically, cannot be debuffed or stunned by an enemy more than once, which means she can only be debuffed or stunned once, which is pretty good in stuff like boss rush, where, you know, probably where you will be using her. So as you guys can see right here, Rom and Ran Fanatic, this is her ability right here. And one thing I want to mention about this ability is it's a local cooldown ability, which basically means that all of her placement can make use of this ability, unlike a global cooldown ability which only one unit can use. Now, what it does is every hit, it will increase her attack speed by 0.5 up to maximum of 30%, which actually increases her DPS quite massively. She is listed as a meta DPS unit, which is pretty nice, and if you take a look at the tier list right here, you'll actually see her in the overall tier list listed as a meta unit. And the second unit right here is the one who started it all, the OG free-to-play unit, one of the most unique units ever in anime Vanguards or in tower defense genre in Roblox, because this unit has a pretty insane passive that is very unique in a way that I haven't seen it done before. since Ragna was added. So basically, I think he's a first of his kind unit. Now basically, to summarize what he does, he is a unit that basically has 4 placements, but you can only place him once. And essentially what that means is every time you place him, like if I place him again right now, his buffs that his previous placement had will multiply or carry over to his second placement, allowing him to stack the buffs, giving him an insane damage. So only one placement of his can be available in the field at the time. If I place another one, it will remove the old placement and then place a new Ragna. And he is, by the way, an unsellable unit. I believe he can actually achieve Monarch level damage comparable to other Monarch units, even as a traitless unit, as long as you really do give him all the buffs that he needs. This is incredibly powerful, incredibly useful for people without Monarch. The best way to showcase this last unit is through boss event. I have Monarch on him, so this is the only place where I could really show him. But the number 1 unit is the strongest unit in the game, Songjinwoo Vanguard. He is a Vanguard unit that is free to obtain by everybody in the game who will grind for him, provided he is pretty hard to grind for. But he is without a doubt the strongest unit in the entire game, in a sense that he can clear a lot of stages, he's very useful in a lot of places, and he's also very free to play on top of all of that. Now, his number 1 characteristic that makes him very free to play friendly is number 1, obviously, he's a Vanguard unit that you can get for free, but also his ability to use all of his summons despite being 3 placement, right, or 3 placed. So basically what that means is all 3 of his placements, if you don't have Monarch, can use his summons, giving you 3 times the amount of summons, right? So as you guys can see right here, if I activate Arise on all 3 of them, each of these summons will be copied 3 times because there's 3 of them summoning, which is actually pretty nice. Now, this is actually so good that in infinite stages, it is better to bring a Songjinwoo Vanguard with Deadeye because, you know, it can crit the summons rather than bringing a Songjinwoo Vanguard Monarch. Because the summons of Arise, the HP of the Arise summons, are actually based off the HP of the enemy, which means that in the highest stages, you can basically get 3 summons with 10 million HP at the very highest stages of leaderboard, which just makes this unit incredibly overpowered. Now, to show you what I mean right here, I am going to be summoning 3 bears on all of them right here, or 1 bear on each of them, which will give us a total of 3 bears. As you guys can see right here, 3 bears, 3 Songjinwoos. You can also have 3 Berus. You can even have 3 tanks if you wanted to. Overall, an incredibly free-to-play unit Songjinwoo Vanguard is. And yeah, he's the strongest unit, also one of the most free-to-play units, if not the most free-to-play unit in the game. Now, an honorable mention I would like to give is Dante, because Dante with Deadeye, all 3 of his placement in his Sun Devil Trigger form can actually out-DPS a Monarch Gogeta, which gives him around 100,000 plus DPS. But the problem is he's a Battle Pass unit, which I don't really want to count that. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have Dante in here. But if he wasn't a Battle Pass unit, or when trading finally releases, I think he would actually make it to like top 2 or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, join our Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.